Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Fridays from the Farm. You ever get sad news? We got some sad news, and that unfortunately we found out that our herd of goats here at Cottage Home have Johne's disease. This is a disease that cannot be cured. It is a disease that will affect their ability to digest nutrients, where they can eat as much as they want, but their body will not turn that into fat or usable fuel. So it's a gastrointestinal issue. It's really rare, and even more specifically, having it contracted in a herd that is mingled like ours, having 4 positive goats here and then 4 negative goats at Brookside, is very unusual. But that does not change the fact that these goats have it, and that means that we have to euthanize them. It is the most ethical thing to do, because if we continue to let them have kids, those kids would be born with Johne's, and then Johne's is contagious. And so by having mixed farms and multiple places to be and multiple herds, that's too much of a risk to have the other goats contract it. It also begs the question of quality of life. Yes, we could keep these goats. Yes, we could continue to feed them and maintain, but it's a wasting disease, which means even though we would be doing that, their body wouldn't be utilizing it. And so that would be self-serving, and that isn't our model. When we enter into this relationship, into this process, this is a potential outcome. It's not one that we start with, that we want. We always know it exists, but it's here now. We're actually experiencing it. Upon learning of the diagnosis, we reached out to a vast network of people to see what this was and what we could do about it, or if there were things that were differing. And we found some information, but not a lot of research has been done on goats to the depth that this is something that we could counteract. And weighing all of the decisions and all the potential outcomes, we were put in a position to make this choice, to have them euthanized. And it's tricky for ourselves, selfishly, in that we've spent time with these goats. More so our partner farmer, Sugar Tree Dairy Goat Farm. Some of these goats were there first, the first part of their herd. And they were some of the first goats for our staff. And so it's this really unusual thing where you get to know this creature on so many levels other than how much milk it produces. You look it in the eyes, you spend time with it, you make videos and sit with them, and so then you're presented with this. And it is by no means easy, but it is necessary. And so it has to be processed in whichever way you want to process it. So Fridays from the Farm this week, the only curious thing is for yourself and thinking about this. We're not going to do any jokes with Robin. We'll give her a rest and check her out again next week. And we'll look at how this can make us better. We'll reflect on the situation and adjust and see what we can do differently next time. And in all reality, the thing that we as a farm staff and as an organization have to find comfort in the fact that this wasn't a result of a choice that we made, other than being in this relationship with these goats. What we can do is continue to work with strong partners, visit our resources as best we can, trust professionals and their opinions, communicate, collaborate, and decide. And that's where we're at. It brings a mix of emotions. We don't have 300 goats. We have 4. And by that measure, it kind of shows us to be fortunate. The goats at Brookside are healthy. That is very important to recognize. And while we had these goats, we treated them as best as we possibly could. And so because of that, we can find comfort in what we've done. We'll do it again. One of the things that I think is really powerful about our program is that we face adversity. We face things that are challenging. And that doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing it. We're going to use this information to better ourselves and add it to our equipment, our intellectual equipment. And that'll only make us stronger. It is a privileged perspective in that we all deal with things in different ways. but one I am grateful to have. Can you not eat my book? I know there's this yellow part, but let's not eat the book. I'm sorry. I put a lot of pumpkin out for you. You can have pumpkin. Do you want me to put some pumpkin right here for you? Here you go. Some pumpkin seeds for story time. Pumpkin seed? What's that? No. Okay. I'd like to employ the words of one Fred Rogers. Most of you all might know him as Mr. Rogers. Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. I've felt that many times. My hope for all of us is that the miles we go before we sleep will be filled with all the feelings that come from deep caring. Delight, sadness, joy, wisdom, and that in all the endings of our life, we will be able to see the new beginnings. And we're in a position where that's the most important perspective to take, because our program is sound. Students have made strong connections. We'll do everything that we can to make sure that from this moment forward, it's a new beginning for us. And we're really grateful for you all participating in it with us and visiting this experience, and look forward to bringing you what's next. And so with that, we'll say goodbye and see you next week.